Opus 18 number 3. The first thing people will tell you about this quartet is that although it was published as his third string quartet, it was actually the first one he ever wrote. Whenever I heard this, I always found it mildly interesting, but not really that meaningful. But in Beethoven's time, it was common for composers who were publishing a set of works to put in the first slot what they believed would make the strongest first impression. So what we now know as Opus 18 number 1 was Beethoven's choice. What this fact does make me think about, however, is sketchbooks. It is through Beethoven's early sketchbooks that we know in 1798, when he decided to set out to write his very first string quartets, he had more or less assimilated the main ideas of 18.3 before any other quartet. Beethoven treated his sketchbooks as prized possessions. They were his lifeblood. In his own day, he was renowned to make an extreme amount of musical sketches and rough drafts for his manuscripts. We know of at least 10,000 pages of these sketches today, and it is said he cared more about his sketchbooks than he did about his own manuscripts. Whereas his manuscripts would be strewn about in his home, his sketchbooks were apparently kept on bookshelves with meticulous care. He also never left the house without a sketchbook in his pocket. He would quote Joan of Arc saying, "Without my banner, I dare not come." And the interesting thing is that although the content of these sketchbooks changed over the course of his life, the process stayed the same from his first quartets to his last. The second thing that usually gets mentioned about 18.3 is the very opening. The interval of the minor seventh, both wondrous and full of possibility. Not only is the seventh unusual, but how about that 10-bar phrase? It's not the usual 8. A 4-bar phrase would be unusual. A 6-bar phrase would be eccentric, but 10? Yet it sounds so normal. By the way, I'm pretty sure Leonard Bernstein took a page out of Beethoven's book. The second movement is weighty, solemn, and probably the densest slow movement in all of the Opus 18s. The scherzo bobs along without much effort, and the finale is really funny. It's full of charm, wit, and brilliant surprises. It gallops, it weaves, it's surprisingly rich in counterpoint. And yes, it does sound a lot like the Mexican hat dance.
Or is it? I guess I'll keep singing. My cell phone appears to be ringing.
Oh, and by the way, humor is kept alive all the way to the end. Following a joyous, piled-on celebration of themes and counterpoint, he ends the movement with a hush and a wink. This time, Beethoven has taken a page out of Haydn's book. The challenge with this quartet is embracing a different side of Beethoven. This is genial, weightless music full of lyricism and playfulness. Maybe not the most dynamic first impression one can make, but nevertheless a very fine string quartet, especially when you consider that it's his first. See you next time.